Sometimes the voices in video games that we love are really annoying anyway. And when we last highlighted 10 voices that drove us nuts, we got a whole lot of feedback. So today gameranx brings you Annoying Voices in Video Games Part 2, Community Choice. Number 10, in Oblivion, the adoring fan, who might as well be called the annoying fan, because every time he opens his mouth, shit hits the fan. At least for me. It's not that he's badly acted, it's that he's maybe just a little bit too well acted. He's convincingly that annoyingly adoring of you. And his voice is grating, but the way he talks is really the most annoying part about him. Everything he says is in this strange sort of worshipy, culty tone that it rubs me the wrong way every time. And I swear, if I hear Bayazura, even now, years after Oblivion, it's too soon. Number 9, Ashley Graham from Resident Evil 4. If you're one of those people that watches the subs and not the dubs, I think Ashley Graham's voice is a perfect encapsulation of why. The voice that they have people do in English translations of Japanese women characters seems to always be this terrible sounding, screechy, high-pitched, whiny, nasal mess. And she is just the perfect encapsulation of that voice. The sounds that come out of that character's mouth are just their punishment for wanting another Resident Evil game. Oh, you liked all 3 of these? Well, we didn't want to make any more of them. Here's a 4th. Ah, my ears. Why did you do this to me? I thought you loved me, Capcom. I don't know, I'm guessing they probably did want to make a Resident Evil 4, but I'm guessing the localization team thought that it should be that terrible, typical, not Japanese person playing Japanese woman character voice, even though the character herself is not Japanese, it's just a Japanese product, so therefore everybody has to sound like they're from anime. That drives me nuts. Number 8, the Battlefield 1 multiplayer announcer. And this is quite an outrage, because a lot of people dislike the female announcer voice.
We have taken objective, George.
Well, you can switch it to a man if you just don't like her voice, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that this, for me, applies to the man as well.
We have taken objective, Charlie.
They're both just a little bit too calm and collected for what I would call a Battlefield situation. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say Battlefield, the game, tends to try to vaguely simulate that. They're both super calm and that nothing of importance is going on around them. This is a war though, and wars kinda matter. And if you like one over the other and say you don't like the one because they sound too calm, maybe think about what you're saying, because they're both like super laid back. It is not how I would be acting if there were bullets flying and bombs blowing all around me. It's really good multiplayer though. Number 7, Tracer from Overwatch, who I knew I was going to hate the voice of the instant I heard her say anything at all in the trailer, even though the trailer was amazing.
Don't worry, loves. Cavalry's here.
Like, I thought she had a fake British accent. Turns out the person's actually British. I was like, huh? What? Because it sounds fake. And I doubt that it's the actor's fault. The lines are kind of like basically what you would expect people to say in a video game where there's voice acting, but not really any reason for voice acting other than to make it kind of seem like they're actually people. It's not like there's a story, a narrative that's overarching in any way. They just try to be like, say really enthusiastic stuff, say really sad stuff.
Looks like you need a timeout.
Whoever made the choice to do this needs a timeout. Cheers, love. Number 6, Tomo from League of Legends, who happens to have the distinction of the most annoying voice that requires no modification whatsoever to be this horrible.
Armed and ready. That's gotta sting.
Timo's laugh is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Timo sounds like a kid, but not like a kid. Like sometimes believably like a kid, but sometimes sounding like an adult who wants to sound like a kid, but a little bit too much. It's tough to describe, but it's terrible. And there are people out there that think Timo is actually not Satan and is cute. No. Timo's definitely Satan. Number 5, Ra from Smite, who, by the way, I just have to say right off, is not necessarily the kind of annoying that I hate. Ra, like a couple voices I talked about in the previous list, is the kind of annoying that I actually really, really love because it bothers people in a way that it doesn't bother me. I'm annoyed by it, but I am not overly annoyed by it. I'm annoyed by it in a that's so annoying way, rather than a that's so annoying stop it way. So when people get annoyed with it in the that's so annoying, stop it way, because I keep going, raw, 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 raw. Well, it makes me happy inside. Number 4, Vanel from Final Fantasy 13. Okay, Final Fantasy is kind of known for being a bit melodramatic and extreme on the drama side sometimes, however you want to put it. And then we throw in somebody to kind of have a beacon of hope, so to speak. That character is usually the most annoying character in the game. And in Final Fantasy 13, Vanel, is that character. It's not her accent. She actually has a pretty normal sounding accent. I think she's Australian. It's the way she says everything so stupidly positively. You know how when you see a self-help book and you're like, pfft. If you can imagine that in the form of a human voice, that's Vanel.
But even if we don't know what'll happen, we have to keep our dreams alive.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that the melodrama of Final Fantasy 13 is entirely effective, but I have a feeling it actually would have been better if I never had to hear, see, or interact with Vanel. Number 3, Cicero, who is caretaker to the Night Mother in Skyrim. Cicero has got the most annoying voice in the entire game, period.
I am!
If you think otherwise, I think maybe you don't have a very good argument, because Cicero is crazy annoying. Everything he says, even when he's calm, is in this heightened, weird, sort of Gollum-esque tone, without sounding like not a normal human voice, but rather combining with it to make the most horrible sound that has ever come out of some human lips. Always whining, too. He never stops whining. I mean, with that voice, I don't understand how you could ever stop whining. Pretty much everything you say is whining. Also, pretty much all of his lines consist of humble bragging, which, yeah, that makes you cool. Number 2, Moira from Fallout 3. Moira Brown. When they hired this person, I guarantee you they accidentally gave the impression that the actor was actually recording for a children's audiobook. Although at no point do any of her lines ever come off that way.
Don't be silly. I just got some gunk on my face after the explosion.
This person probably just thought, hell, they're paying me, I'll just go with it. There's so much enthusiasm that I can't account for. I'm not even joking, at some point I expect her to ask me if I'd like some brownies or cookies or something homemade. But no, she ends up talking about things like how to profit from dangerous landmines. You're not using the right voice, lady. And finally, number 1, those voices you hear on online multiplayer. Kids on Xbox Live, on PC, or whatever you're playing on, who just blast music and say the most annoying shit while you're trying to do something that you spent money on. Yeah, they spent money on it too, but they're not really taking it that seriously. And yeah, you can mute them, but wouldn't it be nice if you could use that shit for, you know, what it's supposed to be used for? Would it be nice if you could mostly just organize with your teammates on playing the game, winning, that sort of thing? Nah, it's gotta be somebody with a dog talking about how great Linkin Park was. It's like, were you even around when they were big? Like, you seem much younger than a Linkin Park reference. I don't know why it's still Linkin Park in 2016, but I got that days ago. I'm not even joking. It's just the worst. And it's not acting necessarily, but it is an annoying voice in a game that you deal with all the time. So what voices really annoy you in video games? Continue to spit them out into the comments. They are endlessly amusing. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, and if you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every single day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I am Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.